It's time for wine. If you take a food match, maybe from food match, yes, with food, this wine, I already know, yes, maybe something from the Puglia region, something typical with this Chardonnay.
I tell you my feeling. Generally speaking, with Chardonnay, I like a lot, how you say, crepes.
Mm-hmm.
So fish, of course, but mainly crabs.
I love salmon. Salmon is number one for me with Chardonnay. Then it can be crabs. You mean crabs, like crabs, yeah?
Crabs and
you like exotic stuff, yeah? Some lobster, maybe. Yeah?
Lobster, this kind of.
And for
seafood.
me also, I would love. For sure, a white meat, which is not only a chicken, but also rabbit, maybe in some cream sauce, and also some turkey. You know, not so long ago there was a Thanksgiving, so for all
something neutral anyway, not
too heavy, you know, and so because in Ukraine there was also quite unmistakable thinking that you can combine only white wine with fish. Okay, and red wine with meat.
But this happens, believe me, all over the world. There's this leather. But we see that more and more with the time, and talking about Chardonnay especially, the link to meat or to pasta dishes or let's say not fish food is more and more popular. And the same happens to red wines for fish. There are some red wines that are perfectly matching to fish. This is changing.
What do you say about pizza? What would be the best pizza with this wine? Or this wine is too elegant for pizza?
No. It could fit with the most simple pizza, in my opinion, which is the margherita, where you have...
Because margherita has this acidity, you know.
The tomato is, of course, the acidity of tomato is present, but it will not fight against this acidity.
Maybe quattro formaggio would be the best, no? Maybe.
Well, it's not for me, but why not? Because you know why the cheese, quattro formaggi, normally the cheese that you put on the pizza quattro formaggi is very strong. So this heavy cheese, this kind of heavy taste, gorgonzola, whatever, is killing, in my opinion, this taste. But
it also depends on the chef who puts a lot, who puts more
exactly.
Poleggio,
you can choose a sweet gorgonzola more than a heavy gorgonzola.
This is a beautiful wine. It's a very nice start. I would ask you one question.
Yes,
you know, I've seen lately that some people love to start. You know, okay, we have two wines here, so mostly in general, when you go to the restaurant, first you start with the white wine, with some appetizers, maybe with some hot appetizers,
some bubbles.
Then you go with red wine, maybe then you go with fortified wines, like port wine or some sherry or some Madeira or Marsala, yes, or maybe some cognac, brandy, what you prefer. But on the tasting, I've seen lately that if you have a lot of red wine, so people start with red and then they finish with white. Have you practiced this?
No.
How do you think? You know why? Because they say, and I've tasted and I think it's quite nice. Because you really refresh. For example, you have a tasting of pretty tannic Barolos, like Prunoto you take, yeah? Still a strong character, right? So you take different Barolos, maybe Barbarescos, and then you wash it with some white wine, and then your palate will be refreshed.
That's perfect.
Yeah?
But you will have, making this way, probably in the end, your white wine will be refreshing for your mouth, but it will be difficult for you to really taste and understand the wine, because and if you made let's say an upgrading tasting and you end with a very tannic, very heavy red wine, it will be very difficult to recognize the...
But you've never tried like this, yeah?
Yes, we made, of course, consider that we have a problem at Antinori. We have a lot of estates. In different regions. So, Piedmont, Puglia, Tuscany. In Tuscany, 6 different regions. areas. Each one has white and red wines.
And
what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you make all the white wines before jumping from one region to the other, or you make first each region? There is no solution.
Yeah.
There's no solution to this question.
So you never bored the tasting because you always change, right?
I try always to make an upgrading in terms of taste and in terms of intensity. Not always it's possible, of course. Of course, there are some red wines that can be tasted before Cervaro della Sala, for instance.
Of course, yeah.
Definitely. It's a question of personal creativity.
On a 100-point scale, if I would ask you to judge this wine, the Pietrabianca Chardonnay, what would you give?
What
score? Yeah, from 100-point scale.
I can make reference to the ratings of the
No, it's just for you. If you, for example, of course, we can go right now search the Wine Spectator.
93.
93?
92, 93.
That's very generous. Huh? I like it as well.
Sorry.
I like it as well, but
don't go below 90.
I'll give 90. Okay, I'm telling you.
Of course, I
must
exaggerate a bit.
Extra 3 points to give up, but also
not
less than 90, and even it will be better with age because it's 2009. I'm sure it can.
Okay, of course, I agree with you, but I always consider where the wine is coming from.
Yes.
And I can make a challenge. You will not find in Puglia a Chardonnay
better than this one. Yeah? I have to guard
from the point of view of the balance of the elegance. The same happens. We were talking today about it. One wine of this winery, Tormaresca, is in the first top 100 wines of Wine Spectator this year. We say, okay, there are 100 wines in the world. We are positioned 61 with the Primitivo. But the main point is not the position in the top 100 wines with Torcicola Primitivo 2008, but it's the first time that an Apulian wine gets into the top 100 wines of wines. This is the point. This is why I'm a little generous with this wine, because we are talking of a region that doesn't have a tradition in terms of Chardonnay. And we, as Antinori, as Tormaresca, succeeded in really having a good expression of Chardonnay in this.
This is for sure. It's not discussable. I mean,
this is why I'm a little generous with the points.
Yeah, I love it really because, as we discussed, I mean, people in California as well, maybe in Argentina as well, even some Chablis Grand Cru are too heavy, too oaky. You need to have the balance, and there I will see there's one Ukrainian Chardonnay which was produced in 2005. I will not even give you the name because I believe you don't know Ukrainian producers, right?
Not so much, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, but I'm
curious.
Yeah, maybe one day I will present you a bottle. So what I found in 5 years, it was too oaky. The oak was.
A result more than an instrument, but
it was the first time they used oak, and it was okay, maybe 2-3 years at the beginning, but then during the aging, it became too oaky, and it was nothing but oak. I was surprised honestly. They have everything, so it's a great one. Maybe not for aperitif, it will be for the main course. I don't know, because for me, for aperitif, I would like something more fresh, Maybe the first type of wine we discussed.
Something more mineral.
Maybe some simple Pinot Grigio, maybe some simple, I don't know, some simple Gavi or something from Trentino.
Vermentino.
Or Vermentino
from the Toscana coast,
yes.
Not so much from Sardinia.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're moving the red glass, so I think you want to talk about this wine.
Villa Antinori. I will tell you one small story. When I started to work as a sommelier 9 years ago, I was really surprised because we received Villa Antinori It was Chianti before 2000.
Chianti Classico
Chianti
Riserva.
Classico Riserva before 2000. And why I remember this change, because the supplier brings us and say, no, but this is not Chianti Classico, but don't give us Antinori. He said, but this is Chianti Classico, but no, it's not. And then we read and we seen, and it was quite a surprise, So I really felt, and when I started, and I will remember till the end of my life, that was this change, And still we enjoyed, everybody enjoyed in the restaurant. People who used to drink it, they said, okay, maybe even better, And right now you have around 65% of Sangiovese, maybe some Cabernet, some Merlot, and some Syrah.
Correct.
Who was?
What was the reason for this change?
Yes, maybe that was the reason. Who intended this reason? Who intended this change?
Look, they are very.
I know maybe why. Maybe to not to be more approachable, affordable.
The reason is has nothing to do with the quality with the style of the wine.
Yeah.
But the reason is linked to the Chianti Classico world. I must give you some information just to have an overview. The production of Chianti Classico is about 30 million bottles. The whole area, Chianti Classico. 1/3 of it, so about 10 million, is Chianti Classico Riserva. Now, Antinori Rosso was about 4.5 million bottles. There's another producer, Ruffino, with his Riserva Ducale, that is producing roughly the same quantity. And all the others were sharing, so 10% of the production. 45% Antinori, 35% Ruffino. And let's say we are talking of a market, you can imagine a sea with 2 big sharks and a lot of piranhas. This was the
comparison, yeah.
And the problem, the main problem is that in Chianti, we are owners of a lot of hectares, but in any case, for producing this quantity of Chianti Classico, we had to buy grapes and wine. What is happening in the Chianti Classico? And I mean, what you can read in the newspaper sometimes, is very clear that it's a risky business to buy Chianti today.
Because you never know, yeah?
You never know.
It's not
Pietrabianca,
but still...
Pietrabianca was considering this, giving a look on the vineyards, saying, okay, this producer declares, I don't know, 100 hectoliters, but look at the vineyards, it's not possible. These others declaring 200.
They're cheating a little bit.
It's impossible. So he said, in order not to risk to get involved in strange things. This was one reason.
So and then the second in 2002, yeah?
2001 was the first vintage
where
we changed the... This was, let's say, the technical, the production-oriented reason.
It's quite wise.
And then the second reason is that we are owning in Italy 2,000 hectares vineyards. We have Montepulciano, Bolgheri, Montalcino, Chianti Classico, so we are totally independent. So why shall we risk buying grapes somewhere, being blackmailed for the price and whatever? We have our vineyards. Sangiovese is in Montepulciano as well. We have the flexibility also to say this vintage perhaps in Bolgheri it's better than in with the Cabernet it's better than in Montepulciano. In Montepulciano it's better than Montalcino, whatever. So we were able to be totally independent from A to Z. We had the possibility, as we were not Chianti Classico anymore, also to change a little the blend in order to make it, I call it a baby Super Tuscan. It's a sort of Super Tuscan that everybody can afford. Antinori Rosso is a very particular wine because it's in his category, it's the most sold wine in the world. Yes. In his price category, why?
Do you have a statistic how many bottles are opened every hour?
No, but we can calculate. But anyway, why? Because you have a mix of elements that are really sexy for the wine consumer, not for the wine expert, but for the wine consumer that has not an expertise, but wants to enjoy the wine.
This will be the part when I will interrupt you. Yes, when you said sexy, I really recalled my assistant general manager in Etrecht. So she really loved. There was, like, I don't say the ladies' wine, but she was a lady apparently, and she really enjoyed Antinori. And every dinner, you know, I really wanted to give her something different for the change, you know, at least because maybe you and I will also agree that you have to develop your palate, yeah.
Of course, you have to taste.
You have to taste different regions, yes. And she was because she said, "Oh, I love this," and everybody's coming. She said, "Let's," and I already knew. And she comes, I bring her already Villa Antinori, and all the guys that came, I've seen that there was nobody that said, "Oh, I don't like this wine," because really this is, I mean. If you don't know what to choose and you choose Villa Antinori, it will be like.
You have the mix is, in my opinion, you recognize wine from Tuscany, definitely. Sangiovese is there
because of the
fruit,
cherry.
The cherry,
the
typical fruit of Sangiovese is there.
I see dark cherries, maybe some sweet cherries, and also from Syrah I have some.
The spiciness of
Syrah and a little bit animal stuff, but not so much, not at all.
It's more the Cabernet thing. Anyway, you have...
the aroma is rich, very rich. For the wine of this category, really. I mean, you can play with it...
Anyway, do consider that this wine is a wine that is aged in oak for several months.
This is what you feel as well, yeah.
The grapes are coming from a selection in the best areas in Tuscany, so Montepulciano, Montalcino, Bolgheri, Chianti Classico. So you have, from the beginning, you have a very high quality.
Okay.
You have structure. You enjoy it. It is not complicated. It's a complex wine, but it's not complicated. You don't have to fight with this wine to understand what's in. You have a very typical color. You recognize Tuscany.
For me, I would say it's even darker than usual, a little bit.
It's a little darker because of the Cabernet. Yes. Of course, it's not the Rubin red of the typical Chianti. It's a dark Rubin red, and this is, I think, the key of this wine. You really can afford it. So you have something that you enjoy, that you can pay, and. Recognizable as a Tuscanian quality wine, and of course this is more for us. It is one of the three wines that have the name Antinori.
Yeah. This is what I wanted to ask you. That first you mentioned that in 2001 you decided, okay, we don't want to mess with other producers, but still right now you have Chianti Classico.
It was risky because don't forget that
you still have Antinori, right?
Yes, but this is Chianti Classico Riserva. We are talking of other numbers. Chianti Classico Riserva is not producing 4.5 million bottles.
Of course, yeah.
That's the point.
What is the production? You remember?
Of
Riserva right now.
Actually, we have about 600,000 bottles.
Okay. So for me, this wine, just to tell the guys what we feel, the aromas really, all this cherry stuff that goes from Sangiovese, then a body maybe from Cabernet, some tannins, which are quite okay right now. Still, of course, for me, at least 5 years of potential, at least, yeah, and dry, with a nice aftertaste. Some smokiness. You really feel that it was oak aged, and I would give it like from medium body to heavyweight wine. And of course, I would love to have some meat dishes with this.
Definitely, yes.
Bistecca Fiorentina, you say? Yeah.
Why not? Why not? All the Sangiovese is fitting perfectly with the bistecca.
But in Ukraine, you also have some rich meat dishes, yeah. So it would be lovely, perfect. Yeah. Perfect. I don't know if you. I'm not saying that we're gonna with lard, you know, Ukrainian salo.
Yes, yes.
No, I don't want to combine it with this. But if you take some salami, I don't know, like
you can let's say fat like salami, prosciutto, lardo. It's perfect. Meat, for sure. Ragu, so pasta with ragu. I would avoid very spiced food.
I agree as well. Yeah,
Because of
like
the tannins,
more burning.
it would fight a little against it.
100-point scale, how much? 88 plus?
Well, this wine achieved more than 88, but anyway, it's up to you. I'm not. You will never believe me when I make
when you say
this wine
when you say that.
No, I fell in love with this one.
Okay.
From the beginning.
Everybody falls in love. I'm telling you. For me, I've been selling this wine for more than 8 years.
Are you rating the love you give to your girlfriend?
It's difficult, and every time it's difficult.
So I don't give any rating because I fell in love with this wine. So I would give not 100,
but when sometimes when people come to your house and you already, for example, under your bed, you see the rating for your wife is 93. They already see, oh, you love her, even they didn't speak to you. So sometimes people have to see if they come for the first time. And the main thing, of course, I really believe that's why when you compare, for example, Parker, Wine Spectator, Wine Enthusiast, my ratings, your ratings, Piero Antinori's ratings, yeah, of course he loves his wines more, sure. His babies, but they will be all different. It's a question of appreciation. Why do we have a term Parkerized wines? Because
no, it is. I agree with you.
So,
it can be an illness.
For me, at least as a wine of this category, of this price, from 88 to 89 points.
It is difficult for sure because you have to compare it with your taste. You have to compare it with other wines. It depends on the number of wines that you tasted and you really taste it, not just like this.
The first time.
And I always put the wine in the context of the terroir, of the region, and of the history of this. So I make a comparison, a direct comparison to the wines in the same category, in the same. And Antinori Rosso is, in my opinion, one of the most approachable wines in Tuscany.
It's quite juicy as well. I've tasted it the third time. It really gives you nice juiciness.
We didn't spend a word about the vintage,
2007,
which is very important because 2007 has been a very interesting vintage for Sangiovese, but also for Cabernet Merlot and Syrah. Mainly for Sangiovese. So we are we have the privilege, a privileged vintage. For your information, 07 and 08 are probably, with 2001 as well, are probably the best vintages of the decade. So we are very, very...
like you compared with the 97, 99 maybe, yeah?
It can be compared, yes. Then we can fight 97 better than 98, 98 better than... There are different...
Like in Bordeaux, they announced that 2005 was the best vintage of like 100 years. Then 2009, oh my god, it's great. And then the prices are growing, and then 2011, oh, this is the bomb. Yeah, they play with us, huh?
They play with us, and for us producers sometimes it's very difficult because if a vintage has a bad press, even if your wine is great, I'll give you an example. 2002.
Yeah, I agree, yes.
Very difficult vintage, for sure, for Sangiovese or whatever. But this involved all the wines in Tuscany. Now, the Cabernet Sauvignon was great in 2002 because it has not been affected by the problem of the rain that affected Sangiovese because it has been harvested before. So we had a great Cabernet Sauvignon, but the vintage had a bad press, so...
That's why to sell it maybe was, it's bad vintage in general.
Exactly. And I give a little tip. When you have a bad press on the vintage, always buy the basic wines.
I agree, yes.
Because we didn't produce our top wines in 2002. No Tignanello, no Guadaltasso. But of course we didn't throw away the good grapes. So finally, in Villa Antinori Rosso 2002, you had great wine, a really great wine.
And I want to ask you two questions. The last one you will ask the guys, yeah? And the one for me, if you will compare these wines with the cars, yeah? What would you say?
With the cars?
With the cars, yeah. Pietrabianca would be, and Villa Antinori Rosso.
Well, first of all,
because I know that you sell Rolls Royce, which is of course Tignanella, Solaya, yes. And
here we are now
Are you a big fan of cars? No?
There's more. Now, my problem is that I don't know the cars.
I'm
not an expert.
Okay,
I don't even have a car.
So. In Italy? We have Fiat.
Fiat.
It's not a Ferrari, maybe, yes, but we have Fiat.
No, this is a good Alfa Romeo. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Both of them, yeah?
Both of them. Yes.
Okay.
They are not a Trabant and they are not a Rolls Royce. Good Alfa Romeo.
Good. Okay, let's talk about this. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. It was a great pleasure, Guido. Apparently, we can discuss the whole day if the guys would be not bored to check. And the last question from you. Yeah.
The question to your friends.
To viewers, to my friends.
Guys, tell me a good reason to buy a good bottle of wine.
So, in other words, why people buy good wines, yeah? Or why people buy wines in general, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next time you'll be around, give me a call with pleasure. We have a wide range, so we will film like the whole year. You will come and we'll be filming.
Okay, no problem.
Ну что, дегустируйте вина, не забывайте делиться своими впечатлениями. Я с удовольствием буду в этом помогать.